right, it's time once again to get all of you involved in the conversation on cricket, on the World Cup, on whatever you want to throw to Urooj Mumtaz today. This is ESPN Cricket for Open Mic. Maruti Suzuki presents ESPN Cricket for Open Mic, powered by Thumbs Up Stump Cam. Urooj, this is where we throw everything your way, unfiltered, unadulterated, and you know there's a lot of emotion with Pakistan cricket. Are you all set to answer some questions?
I've got my sleeves rolled up, all set to go.
Yeah, as you can see, we also got to get rid of the jackets and we're all set. So this is for all of you watching us on our live social platforms. We are live on Twitter, live on YouTube, as well as Facebook. So just fire away your questions and I will take as many as I can in the time that we have to former Pakistan captain Urooj Mumtaz. Now, when we put this post out on Twitter, actually, we had invited questions yesterday, Urooj. Let me just show you what we put out. We put player, captain, selector, broadcaster, and we asked questions for you, given how many hats you've donned. And Faik Ali was right to add, we missed one more hat in your description, which is that of a dentist. I want you to tell our viewers who aren't aware that yes, you are a full practicing dentist even now, right?
Absolutely. It's funny because half of my dental practice has no idea I ever played cricket. And most of the cricketing world has no idea I'm a dentist. So it's weird. I recently did an advert for a toothpaste, and there was a lot of comments on social media that why would a toothpaste brand cast Urooj the cricketer, right? So for all of you, I'm actually a full-fledged practicing dentist as well.
That is awesome. So clearly, people who have like work, who need work with their teeth, don't watch cricket, and cricketers do not make regular appointments with the dentist. So I can understand. I don't. So I'm no cricketer, but we leave it there. Let's take some cricket questions, and we got lots of them, especially around Pakistan cricket. Now feel free to send in questions on the World Cup, on things beyond the World Cup. Urooj is more than happy to take anything that comes our way. I'm going to start with this from Ali Khan Baloch that's come on Facebook, and Ali Khan says, "मेरा question ये है कि क्या PCB फर्स्ट क्लास क्रिकेट को रिस्पेक्ट देता है? मुझे तो नहीं लगता." उरूज.
I think fair question because there's a lot of times where you see where domestic performances should be valued और कभी कभार हमने देखा है कि especially for T20 cricket there's a bit of a jump कि PSL को ज़्यादा value किया जाता है, which is also fair, but I feel कि domestic cricket को till you don't value it, you don't really have a pathway going. So I think there should be a little more credit given to domestic performers as a lead into the World Cup, into the national side.
All right, wonderful. Let's take our next one. This is from Hassan Obed on Instagram. How did it feel when Kiran Baloch scored 242 in that test against the West Indies? For those of our viewers, that remains the highest score ever in women's test cricket. It's a long time back, Urooj. You played in that game. What were the memories like?
Yeah. Oh, fantastic. I'm getting goosebumps as you were asking that question. It was my debut to international cricket to start in a test match at the National Stadium in Karachi. Not the most pleasant story for me because I was padded for about a day, almost about just under 2 days because I was next to go in and Sajda Shah and Kiran Baloch never looked like they were going to get out. I got a first ball duck, so not the most pleasant story for me, but what a player. I still feel that she even right now, in comparison, by far the best female batter we produced.
I think there were quite a few ducks in that scorecard, right? I think everybody was just tired.
Three of us.
Chance ही नहीं मिलने वाला है.
को बारी नहीं मिल रही थी, पैड करके बैठे थे, and then we just went tuck, tuck, tuck.
All right, that's awesome. Okay, speaking of which, maybe this, whether we've already got the answer to that, Bilal 49 asks you who your idol in cricket is. Urooj?
AB de Villiers. Jaunty Rhodes when I was young and you used to watch because I used to pride myself on fielding and I thought that is something that I was good at and I loved doing it. I was one of those jo batting or bowling nahi bhi milti thi, it was not a problem. I used to be more than happy to field. So Jaunty Rhodes at 92 iconic run out to Inzama and then AB de Villiers. The way he's revolutionized the game is fantastic.
All right, brilliant. If you've just joined us, keep those questions coming in for Urooj Mumtaz. I'm going to take some that we got from Twitter overnight. This is a good one from Rifat bin Jamal about the current Pakistan batting predicament. Pakistani batters are regularly facing high pace and quality bowling in the nets. So then why are they struggling against pacers? Urooj.
See, I think there's a huge difference between facing something under pressure, where the stakes are involved of winning and losing and getting over the line, and when you're doing them in the net. Also, you need to connect this with the domestic structure and the quality of pitches back in Pakistan, and for the longest time when they played in UAE. So, in match situations or under pressure, Pakistan hasn't been sort of up against that relentless quick bowling on good quality pitches, and that's why they're struggling in Australia.
All right, brilliant. Sabah Zafar with our next question. What is Urooj's opinion on Babar at number 3? Urooj?
I still feel Babar should open. Fakhr should open, and Babar should come down at three, or one of Rizwan should come down at three, because they're both very similar in their kind of play and don't really provide that impetus in the power play. So Babar at three or Rizwan at three should be the combination for me.
All right, of course, for today's game, Urooj, now that we know Fakhar Zaman is
Yeah.
out for a while, do they just stick with Rizwan and Babar, or would you suggest a change up?
See, the problem is that nobody in that 11 really has opened except for Babar, Rizwan, and Shan. So I don't think they'll change that batting order too much. I'll probably still see Shan coming out at three. And I don't think it's going to change. Had Fakhr been in the side, would have been good to see Fakhr open, but unfortunately, his knee's not sort of staying with him at the moment.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that in a big game, but
Yeah.
Pakistan can still make this semi-final race interesting. All right, let's take this question from Twitter. Sakina Naz asks Urooj Mumtaz, tell us about the early days of Sana Mir and Bisma Maroof, both of whom debuted under your captaincy. Urooj.
Yeah, fantastic. I think brilliant represent your country and being given captaincy at a very early age and then to captain to a World Cup 2009, I think one of my favorite and most memorable moments. And then likes of Sana, Asmavia, Bisma Maroof. Bisma, I think was 16 or something, or probably not even 16 when she debuted. I think it was against Hong Kong. We were playing the Asian qualifiers. So fantastic. And the way the both of them have turned out to be fantastic role models for Pakistan is brilliant.
All right, this is our next question from. Okay, let me try and get this right. These handles are sometimes very confusing. This is Yo Soy Soham. Yo Soy Soham. I hope I've got that right. Yo Soy Soham 47. Hi Urooj, I wanted to ask that seeing how the PCB is organizing a junior cricket league for young boys, how far away are we from seeing a women's edition PSL? Urooj.
Right, I'm not going to I'm not going to be daring enough to repeat the handle, but there is already a women's edition of the PSL that has been announced, the Women's League, which is going to take place just around the time of PSL 8. So I think it's good with 4 teams. We'll probably see plenty of foreign players come. So the start is already taken. The platform has been laid, and it'll be really exciting to see the first edition early next year.
All right, brilliant. This next one is from Winnie the Pooh, at least that's the name of the handle. Any regret about leaving cricket for studies?
No, absolutely not. I relished my time and I still relish it while thinking back. I think one of the best times of my life, the 7 years that I played international cricket for Pakistan. And I just felt the time was right for me. And then to have so much to give back and to be in the position I am now at the moment because of cricket. Yeah, no regrets, absolutely none.
Okay, let's take another one from Facebook. This is from Zale Kim Tai Hyong. Wow, these are really testing me. But Pakistan haven't played good cricket, or has it been bad luck? You know, I understand that question to a degree. Yes, they lost against Zimbabwe, but that game against India, they pretty much played the better cricket for almost 70-80%. Urooj, do you think they've been unlucky in this tournament?
See, up till the India game, and I think I said this in your show as well, I think there's not much that Pakistan should have been worried about because it was a fantastic game of cricket. And just a couple of tweaks here and there could have gone either side, a couple of decisions, a couple of luck. But onwards from there, I think you can pin it down to Pakistan not playing the best cricket, not bad luck. It's not bad luck.
All right, fair enough. I'm moving my attention now to our YouTube live. So why don't you guys send me some questions there? Then I'll hop over to Facebook Live as well before we wrap it up. Okay, Shubham Goel is asking this question multiple times. Who should replace Fakhar Zaman in today's game? Urooj.
It has to be the only options that Pakistan has is Khushdil Shah, Haider Ali, Nasif Ali. Now, we haven't seen Khushdil. Also, I think Khushdil brings a left arm spin, which Nawaz already does. Now, Khushdil's numbers haven't been great, so I don't think Khushdil will be coming back in. With the kind of quality of bowling that you're seeing, they might go back to Asif Ali. It's not going to be as quick and bouncy as Perth because SCG wicket is different, got runs on offer. So I think Asif Ali is going to come back in the side.
Okay, this is from Alkama Zain about the Pakistan Zimbabwe game. I think, especially after watching what Zimbabwe have done after that game, how they've just completely lost it when they had a real chance for the semis. How would Pakistan be feeling watching Zimbabwe after losing to them and then seeing Zimbabwe lose to Bangladesh and the Netherlands? Urooj?
Yeah, I think Robin in your show said only Pakistan knows how they will end up playing. So it's funny because I mean, like we beat the Netherlands. Netherlands end up taking out Zimbabwe, and Zimbabwe earlier returned the favor to us. So not a pleasant viewing. But again, I think it comes down to the way we operated, the way we executed our skills. I'm sure Pakistan will be heartbroken seeing what they sort of could have achieved and would have been a hugely different position in the group at the moment. And this game would have been huge stakes at the moment. But I really hope we see the Pakistan that's been talked up against South Africa.
All right. This is from Zaid Khan on Mohammad Haris, who of course has been approved as a replacement, confirmed to replace Fakhar Zaman. Thoughts on him, Urooj, and whether you see him getting a game?
Oh, he's brilliant. Saw him through the PSL. What the one thing that he is brave. He likes to express himself. Against England, he got one go, and the way he sort of he got out very early trying to play the lap. But I just thought that he's something that Pakistan needs. Somebody who's fearless, who's young. He's a gun fielder. He did keep for Peshawar Zalmi in a few games as well. Wouldn't be a bad thing. Just you sometimes you have these young guys who sort of not in awe of the occasion. They just want to do well, and they end up changing the game for you. So it'd be good to see him get a game. I do not think he'll be playing against South Africa though.
All right, fair enough. Now, this question comes from. I lost it. It was such a good question. Where did it go? Yeah, basically, it's a question that I think echoes most of us from this side of the border. I think it was Samarik who asked, Samaresh Banik. How do Pakistan produce 140 plus quicks year in, year out? We all wonder.
Well, I think that's a secret nobody's going to get an answer to. We're not giving that one out just yet, but it's fantastic to watch. I mean, go back in history. It's just non-stop, relentless pace. And at the moment, we've got four who can bowl well over 140, easily getting 145 clicks. Haris Rauf well over 150 as well at times. So it's amazing, and I think it's the fast bowling, the spice of Pakistan cricket, and have done for years.
All right. Going forward in the World Cup, Shubham Goel asks, do you think it's high time that Pakistan change their batting approach? Urooj?
There's no doubt about that. I think is the one thing that not just in the World Cup, even leading into the World Cup, is something that Pakistan did try at times. But I just think that it's the intent. Also, it'll probably go down to a little bit of skills required in order to have that power hitting game that Pakistan need to evolve and bring into Pakistan. What Pakistan lacks is a top order hitter or a power hitter, somebody like a Quinton de Kock or somebody like Finn Allen up the order for New Zealand. Plus, to add to the problem, they also lack somebody like a Sky or a Miller or a Stoinis in the middle or who can finish the game as well. So it's something that Pakistan will have to firstly accept and buy into as a whole. And then no matter the number of failures, but it'll eventually pay off as we see so many countries doing and paying off for them.
All right. This is from Smriti Kasekar. She says, ma'am, do you think that Asif Ali, I mean, she uses the word waste, which is a bit harsh, but do you think Asif Ali is a waste on Australian pitches?
Yeah, I think that's a bit harsh. I think
Yeah.
he last T20 World Cup, he did show what he can do, but again, different conditions. Asif Ali does like the pace, and I just feel Sydney will be well suited because it doesn't have that zip and bounce that Perth did. And I think if it's a time for Asif Ali to show all the talk that is talked around him, it'll be this game. Not a waste, but yeah, I think there's a little bit of a technique issue in there as well, which he can fix. He is a match winner, but yeah, truly is the fact that he hasn't paid off in a while now.
All right. Zaid Khan, how important is red ball cricket for women's cricketers' development, and is Pakistan lacking there?
Yeah, I don't think Pakistan's played a red ball game since that 2004 game that I debuted in. Pakistan has only played three test games in the history of women's cricket. I think it's a sort of a catch-22 or a double-edged sword because you need to be able to have a domestic structure that supports the red ball game. And that's something where Pakistan needs to probably bring in 3 or 4 day games and have a domestic setup around that. and then sort of push for Test cricket. So it's something that the game definitely needs, but I think it also it lies, or the onus lies on the boards to develop a domestic structure and then sort of ask, or sort of then include Test cricket in your foreign and home series with board storing or away games.
All right, thank you for that. Udari Anupuma, do you think Shaheen is 100% fit, Urooj?
By the looks of it, I don't think he looked 100% fit in the Indian game. The game against Zimbabwe also, but I thought in Netherlands he still sort of started to find his feet a little bit. He also in a press conference said that he is getting there. The doctors team have said that he is medically fit, but there's a difference between medically fit and match fit. And I think that just comes with the number of games that you play. So, and I think he'll be the impact today if he is back to full match fitness.
All right, I'm going to take some questions from our Facebook Live now. I'll just keep swapping between them. They're coming thick and fast. This is actually a really interesting one from Sharik Makbool. He's saying, why are people criticizing only Rizwan and Babar? There are plenty of openers that have failed. He says Warner, Rohit, Bavuma, Nisanka, Rahul. Yeah, Rahul got a 50 the other day. But I take your point. Why is the spotlight on Rizwan and Babar? It's been a tough tournament for openers, hasn't it, Urooj?
Yeah, it has. I think it's because Pakistan have Babar and Rizwan score for them non-stop and score in bulk of runs in the past year and year and a half. So it's almost like it's by default that Babar and Rizwan will score, right? And when they don't, suddenly the spotlight goes towards them. Also because of the Pakistan, the quality or the lack of match sort of finishers or those power hitters that we have, Pakistan follows the template where Babar and Rizwan must score to set up that platform. So, rightly so, I think not all criticism should be pointed towards them, but their lack of runs is also costing or sort of impacting the team dearly.
Yeah, that's we've already brought up the numbers during the Asia Cup. They've got like some 70% of Pakistan's runs last few years in T20Is. So they're feeling it for Pakistan. They're feeling it without the runs there. Okay, Sudarshanan on a question in for openers, but in the women's game, should Pakistan try and play Aisha Naseem as an opener instead of a middle or lower middle order batter? She could perhaps have the effect that Shefali Verma had for India. Urooj.
Yeah, I completely endorse that as well. It's about, and it's the same for men's cricket as well. The Pakistan is normally playing catch up. There's a phrase that I firmly believe in: try and get ahead of the game. Because Aisha Naseem, again, young to the game, still has a few technical issues. So the bigger teams sort of find her out in that. But because we don't again have that power hitter impact with Umema, Muniba, Javeria in and out of the team, and Bisma up the order, Sidra Amin also not the ideal T20 opener. If Aisha Naseem can get you those quick 25, 30 runs of 15, 18 deliveries, it changes the game massively for Pakistan.
All right, this is a good question, this, because I'm hearing a lot of chit chat on this from from my little birdies all over cricket. Zaid Khan says, how do you compare Shadab Khan and Babar Azam in terms of captaincy? Let me just ask you how you rate Shadab Khan as captain. You know where I'm going with this.
Yeah, of course, I can see where you've twisted and turned this. But see, Shadab in his own right, I think he's very clever. He's very smart, and we've seen during his captaincy during Islamabad United. I think he's someone who is brave to take the risk. And I think even when Babar is captain, I think a lot of times you see Shadab animated and sort of trying to get things done. He was instrumental in also promoting or pushing for himself and Nawaz to go up the order during the Tri-Nation as well. So I think both are different captains. Shadab is an aggressive one, and I really feel for a T20 captain that's required. So I think he'd make a good one.
Yeah, that's where I was going. 'Cause I'm saying it in a positive way, nothing against Babar Azam, but I can only hear good things from people who've played with Shadab Khan, been part of coaching setups with him. They only say the best things about Shadab Khan's leadership qualities. So it's very interesting to see how that plays out. Of course, Babar Azam is one of the best batters in the world, so he's not going anywhere. But keep an eye out on how Shadab Khan evolves. Right, let's take just a few more. We're getting a few more questions coming in from Twitter, and I'll wrap it up. This is from Abdul Aziz. Your potential player of the tournament. I guess we're back on the World Cup questions, but who do you think has been the standout player of the tournament so far, Urooj?
I think it'll be a tie between, especially looking at way India and South Africa are playing. I think it'll be something between Miller and Kohli. I think both fantastic players of the game, and the way they can construct an innings if the team's in trouble, to dig them out of the hole and keep the momentum going, and if required to put the charge on and finish the games. I think that's I think it'll have to be one of them.
All right, let's take a couple from Asad Khan and wrap it up. Do we have a fast bowling batting all-rounder in our Pakistan women's team other than Alia Riaz? Perhaps you could even answer for the men's team, because that's something they're missing, Urooj, a fast bowling all-rounder, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially given the fact that it's in Australia. Let me answer the women's part of the question first. Alia Riaz was a fast bowling all rounder to begin with, but she had a few issues with the bowling and doesn't bowl now, so that Pakistan misses a lot. Kainat Imtiaz, another fast bowling all rounder. Again, but she's sort of in and out of the playing 11 at times, so that's something that the women's team can work on. Probably get Alia back into bowling. The other one for Pakistan, for the men's team, I think Fahim Ashraf. I think Pakistan's missing him dearly. And what's surprising is that Ricky Ponting has picked Fahim Ashraf for his BBL side for the upcoming season. So, and it's in Australia, right? So I think Pakistan's not quite sure where it fell off for him, but could definitely use for a fast bowling all rounder. And I think for me, Pakistan men's team would like Fahim Ashraf back in.
Yeah, I mean, imagine having one more seam bowling option instead of Mohammad Nawaz at the MCG. Okay, I'm not going to do that. It's such a heartbreaking game, I guess. So we leave it there. But one last question from Asad Khan before we wrap it up. I like this question. I love asking this question to all the fine cricketers I get to work with. Who is your favorite commentator, Urooj?
Right. I think if I may split this, although for me a commentator is a commentator, but I think Nasser Hussain and Isha Goa.
Sorry. I didn't get you quite clearly there, Urooj. Could you tell me that again?
I'm I'm just saying for me, normally it's like who's your so for me a commentator is a commentator, but I
Yeah.
will like to say two names here because for me, Nasser Hussain and Isha Goha for like leading the charts by far. So if I had to pick one male and female commentator, but I think both are just, I mean, if I may say this, bloody awesome.
All right. Awesome. Brilliant. And I think I've been thrown in one last question. I don't even know what this question is. My producer is surprising me here. All right. What would you think if Pakistan beats South Africa and Bangladesh from here, and South Africa's last match against the Netherlands gets washed out? Will Pakistan come back with the World Cup again like they did in 1992? This is from Shehryar Mujahid. And I love that my producer is keen to throw this question in, right? Okay. Go for it, Urooj. Can it all happen?
Of course it can, and you just never know. I said this in the promo as well. It's the first time World Cup in Australia, a T20 World Cup first time. We all know what happened in a 50-over World Cup that happened first time in Australia. A similar situation, and oh my God, if that happens, wow, it'll be a story that has to be written in gold, wouldn't it? But I think I come back to the point where Pakistan's left too much to chance this time round.
If it does happen, we are going to do another open mic on the day of the final, right? And I can't guarantee how long that will go on for. But it's been a brilliant interaction. Thank you so much, Urooj Mumtaz, for your time and your thoughts. And we look forward to your company
Thanks.
on the show later today. All right, and thank you, all of you. I couldn't take every question in. That's all the time that we do have. But thank you so much for sending it in across various platforms. And we're going to keep doing this, especially on the single match days. So keep those questions and observations and comments coming for our panel on T20 Timeout. And you could join Urooj Mumtaz later today as the Pakistan-South Africa game, huge game at the SCG, comes our way, 1 p.m. if you're in our part of the world in India for build-up to that game. Again, thank you very much. This was Maruti Suzuki Presents ESPN Cricket for Open Mic, powered by Thumbs Up Stump Cam. Bye-bye.